Oh. Sherry. How'd he do? Let a few people come in here. Let me check something right quick. Happy Tuesday, Sherry. Hello. Simulation. Hello. Radio. Hello. All right. No. I wanted to see that real quick. My anal itics. What's up, Ohio? Everybody come on in. Okay. All right, what's on everybody's mind esta noche? Huh? What is the hot subject today? What's on everybody's mind? What are we talking about? How you doing? Conley, aloha. There's somebody in here called the Ancient Dork. Pasta Duchy on the left hand side. I wish I could, but I can't. It doesn't do that. Dallas, Texas. Craig says he already had one rolled up. Salute, says Real Right. Appreciate the kind words, man. Just found your channel and love it. Thank you very much. Do me a favor and share it with everybody you possibly can. This is how I make a living. And if you want to be able to keep enjoying the content that I put out on a daily basis, then I need to be able to keep earning enough to be able to keep doing it. So just share it with fucking everybody you can. Get everybody you can to subscribe to my channel. Over on TikTok, I have 1.5 million followers. I'd love to get this page up to 1 million. So help a brother out. Coco, hello. Australia, hello. Thank you, Shady. My man, if I'm the most stable adult male that you know, then goddamn, son, you are on the verge of being out of control. If I'm the most stable man you know. Because I'm pretty fucking far from being stable. You sat in the backyard today and enjoyed, you barbecued burgers and enjoyed the patio. Okay, so we did that as well. We just had burgers and corn on the cob off the grill. And I got to tell you something, it was like on the money. Even though we're not like enjoying a summer day here, it's been in the low 60s and overcast with rain off and on, and we're going to be in the mid 60s with overcast and rain all day tomorrow. It just still felt like summer, man. A nice hot corn on the cob off the grill with a burger. I'm trying to tell you, you know what I mean? Oh, somebody else received the Have the Day They Voted For t-shirt. If you guys haven't already picked up your Have the Day You Voted For t-shirt, bumper sticker, hoodie, or coffee mug, hit the link in my bio. Let me see if I can. Well, here I have. It's going to be reversed here, but here's the bumper sticker. It's in rainbow colors. It says Have the Day You Voted For. Link in bio. Once again, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, along with a slew of other products that I have on my merch store. Who's dumber, Marjorie Taylor Greene or Donald J. Trump? Marjorie Taylor Greene. You baked cookies and brownies and went to your mother-in-law's. Yeah, see? What do you do? Conley, if you don't mind me asking? I guess I never really talked to you about that. Oh no, I'll be complaining about the heat within a week. It's supposed to be in the upper 80s next week. And once it gets above 80 degrees, I'm fucking done. Fucking done. What do I think of libertarianism? Now there's a subject. Libertarianism is that weird concoction of 50% of the shit that they say I agree with, and 50% of the shit they say I look at them and go, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" In my opinion, modern day liberalism or liberalism, modern day libertarianism is really Republican like. They seem to be Republicans who are ashamed to admit they're Republicans in the modern day. But like when you look at their position on legalization of drugs, right? The state or the country should not have a right to tell you what you cannot put inside your body. I agree with that. But then when you look at their position towards like the Civil Rights Act, the government doesn't have a right to tell a private business who they should and should not let into their place of business. The free market will work that out. You have the civil rights because of what the free market did to these fucking people, you know? You like to play chess and you're a soccer coach. Somebody's talking to us from the DMV. Somebody, JW L. Larore, I don't know how to say your name there, that just became a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. For everybody that understands about the membership, I made a video about membership a long time ago. I wasn't going to do membership on YouTube. I have members on TikTok, but I wasn't going to do it on YouTube because I want all of my content to be available to everybody, whether they pay for it or not. So I don't do anything special for members. Members is a support level. If you guys want to support, awesome. If you don't, totally understand, but you don't get anything additional for it. Will you be adding more moderators? Probably. But right now, the groups have been small. I mean, look, we're only rocking 85 people. If you guys tap the fuck out of the screen for likes, that'll help bring more people in. If you hit the arrow down here and you share it with somebody, that can bring more people in. I will only be adding moderators that I know. If I don't know you, I won't be adding you. And if you're not a moderator from my other channel, I probably won't be adding you. But I don't know yet. Right now, we got a decent number of moderators to start with, and then we'll see as we grow and add. I hit the like button. Thank you very much. Stay-at-home mom. The pandemic extended it a bit. Starting to think about what comes next as the youngest starts middle school in the fall. Oh, right on. Love your support for Canada. Amen. Listen, it's just fucking stupid that we're treating, we share the longest land border in the world with Canada. Canadians come into the United States every day. Americans go into Canada every day. We trade with Canada every day. They have fought alongside us in all of our fucking wars. It is moronic what he is doing to Canada. Absolutely fucking stupid. Sorry, Chris. Yes, Chris is a moderator for me on my other channel as well. Okay, what does this say here? So I was searching Amazon garden gnomes, but toking ones. You lit that fat bat up, and you looked like a toking garden gnome. Fucking awesome. All yours. I have gnomes all over the place. I have this little guy next to me on the floor. I have some gnomes that are smoking herb back there on the shelves. I have some gnomes out in my shed. I have gnomes. I need to. What I need to do is finish my landscaping and get my gnomes spread out throughout my landscaping. But whatever. Thank you though for the. Yeah, sometimes I can look like a gnome. Your voice tone. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's just years of abusing the fuck out of my throat with cigarettes and herb. Chrissy loves you from Canada. Well, I appreciate that. You're scared of gnomes. Sorry. I enjoy your videos. Thank you. 10:09 a.m. Wednesday here. Okay. What do you do for a living? This. Do you think Tommy will be taller than you one day? No doubt about it. I think he's already as tall or creeping up on it right now, and he's just finished 7th grade. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Every man on my father's side of the family is over 6 feet or over, and I'm the runt of the litter. Yeah, I'm the runt of the litter on my father's side. Al Gore should run in 28 with Buttigieg. I don't think so. Thank you very much, Troy Carr. I shall. The snake video gave me the heebie-jeebies. Don't they always? Bernie is a dank homie. Not sure why people can't rally around him. Probably because his time has come and gone. How is Renee doing? She's doing just fine. She's actually in her office right now, putting thumbnails and descriptions on my videos for YouTube for tomorrow. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. How's my day? My day is Jim Dandy. I made 23 videos and 20 shorts. I had a little lunch. I watered the garden. I watered the flowers. I uploaded everything to both social media platforms. She's editing them right now. I had a nice dinner, burger and corn and cob off the grill. Made a little money. Got a little high. Get down to that. Get down to that. You know, do you like winter or summer? Winter. Summer can go fuck itself. Entirely and completely. Like 78, 79 is my tops. Once we get to 80, fuck summer. But it can go down to fucking -10 for all I give a shit in the winter. Big shout out to what? Celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary. I like your content. Thank you. It's 90 where you're at. Yeah, fuck that. That's grotesque. It's 95 in Jacksonville. Who wants to see Tom take on Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk only takes on college students, and I wouldn't give Charlie Kirk access to my platform. Winter is the best. It is. Well, actually, fall is the best, but I like winter too. Spring's okay. It's nice. Things are coming back to life. You get a lot of rain, but yeah, it's nice. It starts to, you can air out in spring. Summer is fucking grotesque. It's fucking grotesque. Listen, first of all, sweat sucks, right? Sweat, I'm a big motherfucker, and it gets fucking humid as shit here, and you get sweat that drips into fucking places that you shouldn't have sweat. Fuck that shit. I can only take off so many articles of clothing before it's considered indecent fucking exposure. But I can layer the fuck up in wintertime, right? I love sleeping under a big, thick blanket in the wintertime, getting a fire going. Yeah, fuck, I'll take winter over summer. Give me like a month to a month and a half of summer, long enough to go swimming for a little bit, see some fireworks, do some shit on the grill for a little bit, but then boom, right into an extended fall would be nice, and then a hefty, beefy winter with lots of snow. Let's not talk about pools. I'm not allowed to have a pool where I'm at. So, I fucking love snow. You look like you can roll. Like, are we talking about a joint or down the hill? I love your channel. Can you wish me a happy birthday? I'm 10 years old. You shouldn't be here. What's your favorite thing? Not talking to fucking 10-year-olds. Bye. I'm not shouting anybody's names out. I don't do that. I'm not going to start right now. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. Who the fuck would come in here and pretend to be 10? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with you? Huh? The fuck? Pepsi lover. Thank you very much. To the other person, yes, I can roll, both down a hill and joints. This wasn't rolled. This is a cone. This was packed. But yes, I know how to roll. I was born in 72. I turned 10 in 82. I came of age in the 80s. You either rolled or you smoked bowls. Come visit Washington. Can you grow? Can I? Yes. Am I allowed to in Illinois? No. We legalized cannabis for medicinal purposes before we did it for recreational purposes. And when the recreational bill was passed, that was one of the things that opponents of the bill wanted stripped out. So in Illinois, you can grow up to 5 plants if you carry a medicinal card. But you're not allowed to grow anything for recreational purposes. Where am I in Illinois? I'm in Shanahan, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago in the far southwest regions of the suburban area. I'm right next to Joliet, Illinois. If you look at a map of the Chicagoland area, I'm where I-55 and I-80 meet. Hey, Tom, saw your video on the Hispanic U.S. citizen detained by ICE. Unbelievable. Yeah, they're going after fucking everybody, man. You're in Bloomington, Illinois? Right on. Chicago pizza or New York pizza? If you're talking about true Chicago thin crust pizza, then Chicago. If you're talking about that fucking, that pizza flavored quiche that they call deep dish, New York. Superdog. Yeah. Superdog's an old hot dog joint way up north. Started by a married couple fucking eons ago. And they serve a really thick hot dog that comes in a box with French fries. They'll put all kinds of condiments on there, but they will not put the ketchup on there. They will give you ketchup packets, but they will not apply it to the dog. It's an old school drive up. You can walk up to the window or you can drive up in your car and order on the speaker. Classic hot dog joint. Classic. Why do they have interstates in Hawaii? No fucking idea. My daughter's boyfriend is Puerto Rican and I worry about him. You should. I'm not even joking. You should. Like, nobody that's brown is safe from just getting caught in the net right now. Do you like New Hampshire? That's kind of a broad general. I mean, I don't have anything against New Hampshire. Why are we sending deportees to South Sudan instead of their country of origin? Because we're making sure that they get locked up forever and ever and ever, amen. And we're cutting deals with these other countries to lock them up. And it's grotesque. It's disgusting. If you could make up a new law, what would it be? So if I could pick one thing that I could change about our laws, I could make a law, I could take a law away, I could do one thing. That's it, one thing. Universal health care. I hope you're having a good day. I am. Who's dumber, Lauren Boebert or MTG? Lauren Boebert. Fun fact, humans are the only living species that wear clothes. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is, Pepsi lover. It's all good. Southern California, hello, how you doing? What is this? I will say I have noticed an increase in aggression from our local police. I'm not happy. Listen, it's going to be a long 3.5 years now, or whatever. Through almost 3.5 years. Red Swan Pizza. Interesting. Not true, says Lord Cheese Cries. He says it's not true. Hermit crabs use shells as clothing. Oh, I think we have a check there. Do we have a competing move to counter that? Who's dumber, DeSantis or Abbott? DeSantis. Hope you're having a good day. I am, thank you. Phoenix has dry heat. Yeah, so does my fucking oven. You know, when people from Arizona go, but it's dry heat, I'm like, so's the air that comes out of my fucking oven. It's still like, listen, I'd rather have a dry heat than the humidity, but my God, man, can we get a lick of fucking rain? Do you think fish know they're in water? I don't know, but let me ask you this. Do you think lobsters and crabs look at fish and think they're flying? It's not about who's more intelligent, it's about who's more evil. Good morning from Australia. Well, good evening from the States. Is 4 years too long, too short, or just right for a presidential term? I would like to see the presidential term changed to 2 5-year terms. If you can win 2 terms, if you can win either one of them, they're going to be 5-year terms, but you can serve 10 years. I think it takes the aspect of lame duckness away. I think it takes the, hey, we're going to be here for a while, negotiating back and forth with things, but we need to fix our Congress. We are so misrepresented in Congress. So misrepresented. I no, it's just called Taco Tuesdays with Tom, so I'm not actually eating tacos when I do the lives. Yes, DeSantis went after Floyd. Uh, the Senate. Listen. The Senate was created when our founding fathers could not possibly envision a time when we would have a state with 40 million people. There's no way they could have ever possibly seen that. And there's no way they could have ever possibly seen the kind of population disparity that we currently have, where Los Angeles County alone has a greater population than several states, let alone the entire state of Florida. So the state of Florida has 39 million people, 39.4-ish million people, I think. And they get 2 senators. And then Alaska has 900,000 people. Alaska has, as a state, less people than the city of Chicago has in it. A third of the population of the city of Chicago, and they get 2 senators. And yes, I understand the Senate was set up to represent states equally, but that was at a time when we did not have the population disparity that we have now. So we are severely misrepresented in both the Senate and the House. The House, because we have gerrymandered districts from both Democratic and Republican states. I am an hour away from the city of Chicago, yet I am now in the same district as people along the South Shore because the Democrats gerrymandered the fuck out of the state. No, don't get rid of the 2 Dakotas. Just appropriate a portion represented. We got to change the Senate. We got to be represented equally. It is ridiculous that a couple of 100,000 people in one of the Dakotas can have the same voting power in the Senate as 40 million Californians. Yeah, we just talked about that, Gerald. Have you ever been to Lincoln's childhood home? No, I have not. I've been to Bob Marley's childhood home, and it's fucking spectacular. What do you choose? Tomorrow you are offered universal health care for you and the family, but it's at a cost of no more tacos for you. I, no, I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. Why should I have to give up food in order to get health care? And I have the ability to pay for my health care and go get tacos, so I'm going to just stick with that. A single 6-year term for the presidency? If you want to limit the presidency to a single term, then I say you got to make it 7 years at a minimum. You got to give a president time to really get some shit done. I like tacos. So do I. Who was your favorite president? I don't really have a favorite president. Lincoln's childhood home. He's not that old. Come on. Should cabinet members be elected and not appointed? No, they should be appointed. As the president of the United States, you should be able to assemble the team that you want to assemble. But I think that we need to, when they're in front of a Senate and they are lying through their fucking teeth, and then they turn around and do the things that they said they weren't going to do, we need to be able to hold them accountable. And that goes for not just the cabinet members, but the Supreme Court justices. The argument for the 6-year term was that the last year of a presidency was usually spent campaigning, endorsing, so 2 terms is usually okay. Understand. Would you rather have Ronald Reagan as president or Donald Trump? Ronald Reagan. How do you feel about Trump? I feel like he is 350 pounds of liquefied dog shit poured into a cheaply made Chinese suit. Every fucking time he opens his mouth, he lies. The only fucking person or thing on this planet he gives a shit about is himself. I think he is one of the most vile, disgusting human beings to ever disgrace this earth with the imprint of his foot. And while I don't wish anybody ill will, especially him, given his stature, the day he is no longer alive will be a great day, not only for this country, but for humanity. And the fact that he has to lie about everything is just disgusting. Everything. Yeah, Trump pardoned some reality TV show rich people who were found guilty of fraud and tax evasion. So I'm telling you, man, I get my taxes done by an accountant. So if there's anything wrong, I'm gonna look to him and go, hey, or to them and go, hey, you got a stamp on this thing, man. I trusted you. That's why I hire you, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I used to watch Bill Maher all the time. I don't really much care for him too much anymore. I haven't watched him in a couple of years. I think he's extraordinarily insightful and has done a lot of good over the course of his life. But I also think he platforms people that should never be given a platform in this quest to be this personality that lets everybody speak. And I understand that we have a country where everybody can speak, but that doesn't mean you got to give everybody your motherfucking platform, man. You don't need to give Ann Coulter a fucking platform. She's a waste of human DNA. You don't need to give these motherfuckers that Steve Bannon should never be on anybody's show that has any decency whatsoever. Do not platform these motherfuckers ever. Why was Rush Limbaugh a bad person? Because he wished bad things upon people. He spoke poorly of people, and not just like down on people, like openly, actively advocating for people who would be their demise, people to get into power who would be the demise of marginalized people. He was pure fucking scum. Yeah, he's just, what was good about Rush Limbaugh, right? I mean, nothing. Is Stephen Miller human? I mean, yeah, he is, but I got to be honest with you. If I could paraphrase a comedian I liked a long time ago, you could run the shop vac back and forth across the top of the human G pool for 24 straight hours and not pull up 1/1 millionth of whatever the fuck it is that Stephen Miller sees in the mirror every day. I mean, that dude, he is spooky. What is that? There's more people in all of Indiana than all of those. Yes. Worm Tongue from the Lord of the Rings. I never watched any of that. You have a steal your face in your garage. It says, please be kind. Steal your face like that. I did see that there was a veterans protest going on in D.C. Everybody, don't watch the parade. Seriously. Don't fucking watch it. Stephen Miller is like a literal fucking Nazi. Thank you, Michael Dubois. Did I like Larry King? I mean, he was okay. Cleveland, hello. I haven't even heard about the attack in London, so my apologies. AOC in 28? No. Thank you, stupid head. I have a picture of myself flipping off the Trump Tower in Chicago. It stands tall right there along the Chicago River. We've been sued for I don't know how much money now for doing things bad along the Chicago River there, and my guess is it won't be too many more years before that name comes off the side of that building. I can think of another day that will warrant a parade as well. Every day we all wake up and flip on the news to see what the fuck happened overnight. Super simple to the yin yang when I come up, old guy, new tapes, memories. Do you think parents should go through their kids' phones? Yeah, I do. Wait, he doesn't even own it anymore, does he? Newsom is just Simon. I love flipping off the Tesla dealership on the way to town. What the Google Mac? How you doing? What instrument should a beginner start with? How the fuck would I know? I don't play any instruments. I don't mean to be rude when I say that, but I mean, Jesus, you should not be taking that advice from me. Teslas, everybody loves a Tesla. Okay, so Vintage Adventurer says, if you're a beginner, you should start with the clarinet. I played the viola when I was in junior high. Google that. Just a collector. Oh, you talk about this? Yeah. It's a music wall. It's got all kinds of different music shit on it, and I thought about bringing a musical element in there. So you see this neck back here. This is just a cheap $125 acoustic guitar that was sitting there. This landed into the lap of the guy who owns the local music shop in late summer, early fall 2020, and he called me and said, "Do you want to buy it before I put it out for sale?" And I said, "Nope, because I don't know how to play, and that should go to somebody who knows how to play." And so then I passed, and then he called my wife and said, "Before I put it out for sale, does he want this?" And she said, "Yep." And she bought it behind my back, early October 2020. And then after we opened all of our Christmas presents, December 25th, 2020, I was in the process of cleaning up the living room, and she came in and said, "Oh, by the way, here." And it was in its case, and she handed me the case. And I opened it up and I said, "Why did you buy this?" And she said, "Because even though you don't know how to play, and even though you believe that it should go to somebody who does play, we know of nobody else that would appreciate it the way you would." And so it's been hanging there since December 25th, 2020. She also got me that serigraph of Jerry Garcia, only 5,000 of them made, all of them autographed by the artist and numbered. She got it for me. She framed it for me, mounted it, had it mounted and framed for me. She got me a few of these pictures. She got me my Impeach 45 Cubs jersey when he was in office the first time, and she got me my Impeach, her and the kids got me my Impeach 47 Cubs jersey this time around. Long-time viewer across many platforms. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jerry is a national treasure. Yes, he is. You play the banjo. Right on. Keep playing. Keeping it like that keeps it playable. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to be buried with the motherfucker, so nobody's going to play that. Ever. What would Jerry think of Trump? I think he'd be disgusted by him. Then again, I think Jerry Garcia would be offended and disgusted by quite a few of the politics of the last 20 or 30 years. You know what I mean? But I think as we got into this era of politics, he would have leaned heavily into whatever the Democratic Party was doing because Trump is that bad. You have like 10 guitars, no real attachment. My daughter has a couple. She plays guitar, took lessons. She has a couple guitars and a keyboard. I can't remember if she has a bass or not. Well, thank you, Nicole H. Oh, I engage, bye, Pepsi Lover. I engage with these people because it gives me content. Content is how I earn. My family lives off of the revenue that is generated from my content that is seen across multiple platforms, but predominantly here on YouTube. I have a kid with a studio. I play key bass. Yes, about the people talking about George Carlin, I agree with all of that. I did not get to see that about Gene Simmons. That's pretty fucking cool. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Interesting. You were part of the concrete crew that poured Jerry's driveway. Right on. Favorite Dead album? I do not have a favorite Dead album or song. No, the Dem Party now is not the Dem Party from back then. And I think Jerry would have been upset with politics in general right now. But I think he would have recognized the danger that is Trumpism and would have been dead set against what Trumpism is doing in this country. Sorry to hear that, Josh Pitt. I'll hear in the Philippines. Thank you very much, H. You went to a Fish concert once? I'm sorry. Will Trump try to run in 2028, or is he just crazy now? He's going to try and figure out between now and then what he can do. And I think that Republicans are going to tell him you can't do anything. And then hopefully they can convince him to just kind of focus on his legacy, which would really kind of occupy his brain for the last couple of years of his presidency, focusing on being remembered for something, but not trying to try 20. But then again, who knows? It's Donald Trump. He could easily just try and be like, fuck it, I'm running again. Put me on the fucking ballot. See what happens, motherfucker. I was wondering if you ever met her. What? Wisconsinite mom is wondering if you ever met or how close you have gotten to Jerry Garcia. No, I never met. I hope the Republicans turn all of them, but that'll never happen. We'll see. Once he's gone, you know what I mean? Today is my birthday. Everyone, please like the live for me, says Ben Y2K. Ben, happy birthday, man. Any chance in your lifetime will a third party get in? Not unless and it has to be the Republican Party. Not unless the Republican Party splits in two. Because if the Republican Party splits in two, if the far right wing MAGA movement breaks off and forms the Patriot Party, and what's left of the Republican Party is the Republican Party, it would leave an uncontested Democratic Party, and it would be very, very quickly, shortly after that happens, that the far left would look at the Democratic Party and say, we can't have an unchecked Democratic Party, and the far left would break off. If it were the reverse, if the far left broke off the Democratic Party first, I don't think that the far right would break off the Republican Party. They would just look at it and go, we got him by the balls, and they would just fucking foot on the throat. So if the Republican Party splinters into two first, and then the left breaks off the Democratic Party, I think what you would see is what was left of the Democratic Party and what was left of the Republican Party merged to form some form of centrist party. And then you would have the centrist party, the far right party, the far left party, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party. And I think all of a sudden you might have some viable options. All of a sudden it's not just down to two fucking people. $2028 free weed for everybody? No, man. 2028 healthcare for everybody. When people say if you could be president for one day and they would let you pass one law, no questions asked, you get one law, what would you pass? It would be universal healthcare, because universal healthcare is the single greatest thing that you could do for everybody at one time, right? It would free up everybody from being shackled to their jobs and would allow people to go out and start their own businesses because they'd be covered via healthcare. People wouldn't be stuck at shitty jobs. People wouldn't have to go broke because of their healthcare. Everybody would be covered. It would be the single greatest thing you could do for any. If I could have one bill, people say, would you legalize marijuana? No. Would you do this? Would you women's right to choose? I would love to see women's right to choose. Universal health care is the single greatest thing you could do for everybody at one time. And from there, watch what this country could do. Dental and vision, yes. Oh, I took an ambulance ride from here to the hospital one time. Whew. That was $1,500. It's like 14 minutes from here. $220,000. Jesus. What should we do with education? Not only should we further fund the existing public education system that we have in this country, we should expand public education to 2 years beyond high school. So you graduate high school, 12th grade, then you have the option to, but you can go to do one of two things. You can go to a local community college for 2 years as part of your public education that's paid for by the community, by all of us chipping into our tax dollars. You can go to a community college and get a 2-year associate's degree, or you can go to a 2-year trade school. Either one covered under public education. We expanded for 2 more years. And then we need to make student loans come directly from the federal government, not through a banking institution, be 100% interest free. And there needs to be certain benchmarks where that loan can go bye-bye if you do certain things with your education. I'm sorry, but we've got to make it so that people can get an education, for fuck's sake, man. It's ridiculous that you go into debt for. My daughter's going to be in the debt for 140,000 for a 4-year degree from UIC. You know, $140,000. She's gonna in 2 years. She's gonna leave school with $140,000 worth of debt. It's fucking insane, man. Now she's gonna get her degree and she's gonna go to work, but fuck. Yeah, it is sad. 140,000 in 4 years. Yes, I heard about the parade, but I'm not. And I don't know about the protest, but I just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Did you ever live in a country with universal health? I assume not. So how do you know how good or bad it is? A few things. First of all, my stepsister and her husband live in the UK currently. They have for several years, and I've had several conversations with them before. We haven't spoken in quite some time, but before about the differences between the universal healthcare in the United Kingdom that they get to experience and the for-profit healthcare that we have here. I have several friends that live in countries with universal healthcare, and all of the numbers come back the same. People who live in countries with universal healthcare pay less for their healthcare, get better overall healthcare results, live longer, are healthier overall, and nobody is fleeing a country with universal health care to come to the United States of America and pay more for their health insurance. You know, it's never that way. You don't see somebody from England pitching the fucking ironing board into the fucking Atlantic and rowing their way to New York so that they could pay 3 times and have worse health care. 140 grand is insane. No fucking shit. I know, I'm watching it happen. My Memorial Day weekend was good. Toilet paper. We don't have a bidet. I don't know if I would ever use a bidet. Will there be a new flu vaccine this fall? There is every year. We need to lower the cost of everything to be globally competitive. What? I was born in the U.S., but I'm worried my third baby won't be born a citizen. Will you be in another country? Fucking birds are going nuts, man. Oh, we definitely live in a country where don't call an ambulance, I can't afford it, is actually a thing. I've said to my wife before when she's wanted to take me to the hospital, don't fucking call an ambulance, just take me to the fucking hospital. Oh, because of birthright citizenship? Gotcha. How has springtime in Chicagoland been this year? Up and down, honestly, up and down. We got warm and we got a lot of flowers really early, and then it's cooled off, and we've had 60s and shit for a hot minute. Next week we go back into the like starting Sunday, Monday, we go back into the 80s. It's weird, chilly in Kansas City. You were in Chi-Town once, got a dip. You talking about a beef dipped? Generally no cost for an ambulance here. Not the fucking case here, my guy. Not the fucking case here. Oh, yeah, beef dip. Okay. Never heard anybody call it a dip. Drove myself to the ER while having a stroke. Yeah, that's America. That's America. Beef dip, delicious. It is. The Italian beef sandwich is phenomenal. The combo just takes it up a notch. If you've never had a combo, that's an Italian beef with a charbroiled sausage, Italian sausage at the bottom, with the beef on top. Mano, no money for healthcare, but plenty for parades. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not a fan of brisket. I'm sorry, I know I'm all over the place, but I try to read the comments and respond to them. You know what I mean? $80 for an ambulance in Vancouver. Hey, I'm going to be in Vancouver at the end of the summer for a singular day. I am flying, me and the missus are flying in at the end of summer to Vancouver because the next day we're getting on a cruise ship and heading up the Alaskan coast. Beef Polish combo. There you go. That's a flavor. If I could have a magic wand and pass any constitutional amendment, what would it be? Universal health care. Yes, we are going on an Alaskan cruise. I got to get the cruise is paid for. I got to get the excursions paid for. So there's a whale watching excursion where they take you out to watch whales, and then take you to an Alaskan salmon bake where they do old school Alaskan salmon, barbecue rib, and elk sausage bake. And we might hit one of those log cabin shows, spend a couple of days on the ship itself, just kind of checking out the sights and chilling. This isn't a loaded up and bring swimwear, because we're going to do a ton of swimming cruise. You know what I mean? New to my channel? Well, keep watching it, because you're going to get all kinds of different content. I predominantly talk about politics. For those of you that are new to my channel, I predominantly talk about politics, but I also talk about music. I talk about Gen X culture. I talk about Chicago and Chicagoland history. I talk about cannabis, food, and travel. Yeah, I talk about all kinds of shit. So when I go on vacation, you're going to get vacation content. When there's political news, you're going to get political content. When somebody makes a piece of content that has nothing to do with politics or news or anything, but just makes me laugh, you're going to get a fucking video on that too. You know, some woman comes on and she got some long ass titties. I might make a video about that. Some guy comes on, it looks like he's carrying a fucking baby's arm holding an apple in his shorts. I might do a video about that, man. We're talking about Italian beef. You never fucking know. One thing that's for sure is it's going to be more of a liberal from a political standpoint, and it's going to be obviously 420 friendly. Listen, here's the things that we like on this channel, all right? We like good old-fashioned rock and roll. We like sweet, sticky dank. We like sloppy fucking head and bomb-ass tacos. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And I'm not just talking about sloppy head, me getting my knob slopped. I'm talking about sloppy head both ways, right? Boys, you got to get in there. You know what I'm talking about? We're not just talking about chorizo tacos or steak tacos or shrimp tacos or chicken. We're talking about tacos. Do I have any right-leaning viewpoints? I'm pro-Second Amendment. I'm pro-death penalty. I'm pro-first strike on a foreign nation. I mean, I'm capitalist. You've been watching my channel for a year. I appreciate that, man. You used to be pro-GOP until you were delusioned by something. Interesting. What do I mean by pro-first strike on a foreign nation? Excellent question. I think that generally speaking, we should leave people the fuck alone. However, if we recognize a verifiable threat to either our assets around the world or our allies' assets around the world, and we see that a strike is imminent, I have no problem striking first. That's what I mean. A preventative strike to prevent deaths on our side, I have no problem with that. What's up, man? Out here doing the work? Well, get paid, boo. Get paid. What's your favorite color? Blue. Give an example of. Give an example of what? Is the Chicago Chop House still open? I have no idea. I'm not a steak guy and I don't really do steakhouses. Last week he was a flaming liberal. I've been a liberal for fucking decades, dude. What's your favorite shade of blue? I'm kind of partial to like Colts blue. The color of my car is nice. It's a darker blue on the Jeep model. I don't know what the name of it is. It took a little while, but I finally spotted a troll. Point them out to my mods; they'll take care of it. Do you like Bernie Sanders? I'm sorry I had to ask again. Listen, I agree with 97, 98% of what Bernie Sanders has to say. I also think that Bernie Sanders needs to stay his ass in the fucking Senate. I think that Bernie Sanders did damage to the Democratic Party in 2016 by staying in after he was mathematically eliminated. And I think that, you know, listen, I'm not a party guy, but I'm a realist, and one of two people are going to win, the Democrat or the Republican. And Bernie never liked the Democratic Party for shit until he needed to use it to get elected. And for that, I got a fucking problem. C Rule Ian Blue. I don't know what the hook that means. You've talked about a lot, but people, can you speak on the political atmosphere and the effects on people's mental? I mean, listen, I can't speak to anybody else's mental health. You know what I mean? Bernie Sanders is never going to be president, man. He's going to be too old. He is. They're all aging out, all of them. Cerulean? Yeah.
Everything's labeled and
Thank you very much. On that note, do you support term/age limits for politicians? Okay, everybody stop asking questions because this is going to be a rather prolonged answer, and I'm not going to be reading anything while I'm answering this. Term/age limits. I definitely support an age limit, right? There should be a certain age where you can no longer be president. In my opinion, that age should be 60 or 65. That's retirement age, and I think that that's appropriate to say you can't be president or you can't be in the Senate anymore. Do I support term limits for Congress? We have term limits for the president. Do I support term limits for Congress? In the absence of a regulated Congress, yes, term limits obviously make sense. But rather than having term limits, I would rather have a reformed and regulated Congress. I would rather see a regulatory bill come out that says things like, I've said this before, if you're running for Senate, you can't collect any money from outside your state. If you're running for the House, you can't collect any money from outside your district. No more corporation or organizational money. So no more teachers union money and no more Koch brothers money. Personal donations only, capped at a certain amount. I don't know what the fuck that amount is. Once you get to Congress, everything should be a standalone bill. If you're voting to fund the Department of Defense, that's what you're voting on. If you're voting to name a post office, that's what you're voting on. And you don't get to add this to that in order to get it passed ever again. That becomes a law. You're not allowed to own stock if you're a member of Congress, period. Ever. You have inside information. That's the price you pay for living the life that you live. If you're going to try and vote on something that affects you personally, like giving yourself a pay raise, no, that goes to a national referendum. You work for us. I have owned several companies in my lifetime, and none of the people that have ever worked for me have ever been able to walk into my office and say, hey, I took a vote today. This is my new pay. We determine what their pay is. And I think that we need to set their pay at a decent level, but enough of this bullshit about how I need a house in my district and a house in Washington, D.C. No, we're going to build you a state of the art barracks. So you're all going to have essentially condos with the state of the art everything, workout room and a cafeteria and a gymnasium or a pool, all of it. But that's where you live when you're in Washington D.C. Not raising money to try and build your own fucking place or have a second place in Washington D.C. We're not playing that game. And enough of this fucking. You only work 3-4 days a week. You work all fucking week. That's it. And I think that if we can regulate Congress like that, we don't want to put term limits on members of Congress. I don't look at my plumber and say, hey, dude, you've been my plumber for 20 years. I got to find a new plumber. It's too long. I don't look at my mechanic and say, you've been my mechanic for 20 years. That's too long. I got to find a new mechanic. I think that if you regulate Congress like that, you're not allowed to take, PAC money or any of that shit like that, then you get people that are not there to get rich. You get people that are there to actually serve. Then you might get people that you actually like what they're doing. And if you like what they're doing and they're doing a good job, why would you ever want to tell them, all right, you're done. You don't get to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'd like to see that instead of term limits. But in the absence of that, yeah, term limits would be nice. Buttigieg has a chance, absolutely. Alex, here's why it'll never work though. Because the people that need to enact it are the people it would affect. The people that need to vote on it are the very people that it would affect. And that's why we're going to forever be stuck where we're at. How much time do you spend each day making and editing content? Okay, so here's my current schedule. I utilize TikTok just at this point in time. TikTok is a video editing app for me. It's a video creation app for me. That's what I use. I don't give a fuck if I get any more views on TikTok. I use it to create my content. So what I do is I work every other day. Like today, I started making content at 9:30, quarter to 10, and I made content and uploaded content through 4 o'clock. And I had a lunch and got up and fucked around a little bit, watered the flowers, kind of stretched my legs while I was doing it. But in that time period, I made 23 full-length videos that's 3 minutes or longer, and 23 videos and 20 shorts that's under 3 minutes. I did them all on TikTok, uploaded them all to TikTok, which downloads them all to my phone, which I then turn around and upload to YouTube. But to set the private until I have a chance to go in or until my wife has a chance to go in and edit them. So she just went in there and spent half an hour, 45 minutes every other day, editing and putting in thumbnails and descriptions. Tomorrow morning, I will schedule all of those out for tomorrow and the next day, so that you guys have constant new content coming out from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. all day, every day. And then tomorrow I'll take a day off, and then the next day I'll do that. I'll make that content. Has anyone ever doxed you? They can't. I use my real name. I tell you what my address is. I tell you where I live. I work for myself. You can't dox me. Would you rather Kamala run for governor of California or for president? Governor of California. Should the Senate confirm pardons? No, I don't think so. I think that a president should have humility and be able to look around and see that people understand that what you're doing is wrong. Joe Biden pardoning his son, that was wrong. The people that Donald Trump have pardoned, wrong. I think that we need to have presidents with humility. And unfortunately, we just don't have that anymore. Oh, I understand that there are crazy people everywhere that can find my address and be at my house in a second. And my address has been put all over. Google Mac right here was the one that was like the first saw my address put on a live on TikTok. And I was like, initially I freaked out. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. I use my real name. I tell people where I live. Why am I freaking out that somebody found my address? I ran for public office out of this house, so by law my address had to be made public. Thank you very much for We Are the Progressive Anti-Trump Tribe. What the fuck did they say here? Hang on a second, I'm trying to heart it. Cheers. Pass the good vibes, whichever floats with the moment. Fuck TikTok and their community violations. I can fart in my living room without the app on giving you a violation. Jesus fucking Christ. Y'all motherfuckers is crazy. I ran for public office when 16, 17 years ago, maybe. I ran for Park District Commissioner. We had only been out here a few years. We didn't know anybody. I put on my suit and my tie and my overcoat because it was cold out and my gloves, and I went door to door and got the signatures to get on the ballot to run for Park District Commissioner. And I came in third. Yes, Biden could have done a lot more. Will you ever run again? No. The thought of you in a suit is hilarious. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can figure this out. Everybody, hold tight. Hold tight. Hang on. Everybody just hang on. Just one goddamn minute. Hang on. Hang on. I am looking for something here that might make you guys chuckle just a little bit if I can find it. I got so many goddamn photos. I mean, I got photos coming out of my fucking ass. You know what I mean? Let's see. Is it in here? Yes, I'm humming the Mentos theme song. Just bear with me here for 1 minute if I can find this motherfucker. Jesus Christ, Tom, clear out your goddamn phone. What in the actual fuckity fuck? Okay, it's not in that album. Let's see here. Do I got one here? Okay, here. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Dad nabbit, sons of bitches. By God, I'll tell you, that ain't gonna work either. Bear with me here, boys and girls. Bear with me. Man, I got to be able to get to these things faster than this. This is fucking ridiculous. How do I not have easily accessible albums with the shit I want to show? Well, I have a million albums. That's the goddamn problem. Jesus Christ. On a goddamn popsicle stick. Well, I can't find it. I was going to show you a picture of me in a suit. Hang on a second. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Old-fashioned, listen to me. Jesus fuck. There we go. I bet I got it here. Well, I guess it's sort of me in a suit. Sort of. That is at the end of my nephew's wedding in southern Indiana. I'm fucking gassed. I'm fucking exhausted. And I got my tie loose on the 3-piece here. And I'm just fucking, I'm tanked for the night. That's it. I'm done. I want to go home. My feet hurt. That's just the end of it right there. And then, of course, you got your boy at 3 months old because damn, did I start early. You know what I'm saying? Look at them cheeks. Be jealous, motherfuckers. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. Killing it from day one. Killing it. It's me telling you you're number one in front of my grandfather. That's my grandfather on my mother's side, Thomas Gaetano LaFura, who immigrated here from Sicily as a young boy, and his wife, my grandmother, Mary Lou LaFura from southern Indiana. That's my cousin Monica next to me. And that's me. Obviously, it's Christmas time. You can see the Christmas tree and the Christmas presents. That's my Uncle Joe guy working on something back there. Yeah, that's just. And now, prepare yourself for the ultimate. Halloween, Julius Caesar, Sans the Beard, many, many years ago. Just, doing my thing. Doing my thing. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Don't fucking give a shit. I said, hey, we're going out trick or treat. Right on. Let's go. I'm gonna be Julius Caesar this year. And then we got me on my father's lap as a wee youth. It's the old man. That's Tom Powell Sr. right there. Obviously, Christmas time again. Me with the banjo. Always dug on the music. Anyway, sorry. I was reading one that came in here. Where's this? What do we got next here? Me at the goddamn Holiday World in southern Indiana with one of the mascots rocking the white Dad 12s. I'm like Dad from the waist down. You know what I mean? I got the cargo shorts and the white Dad 12s. Let's see, what else do we got here? What can we partake in tonight? Let's see here. Is my son on the baseball mound? Oh, up the bat there, Tommy, back in the day. Yeah. Not a fan of baseball, the young man, or at least he wasn't a fan of baseball. Where is, okay, so here we go. That is one of my father's cars. My father was a drag racer. This is Powell's Demon. You can see here it's at Oswego. You can see here on the door here, Powell's Demon. The M is blurred out by the picture here. My apologies. But that's one of my old man's dragsters. The car my father was best known for, the Fugitive. This is his black Fugitive. At the starting line. Hang on. Here we have one of his white fugitives. That's the old man. Picky, picky, picky was about my mom because he said she was so picky. And then fugitive, you see here off the F, was the ball and chain. And it's got his name in the ball and chain. He was the fugitive. That was his kind of like street name back in the day. There's another one of his older black fugitives. You can see the name Tom Powell on the door. Junior's Toy, another one of his back in the day. There's another shot of the white fugitive in color. Just a street name that he had, the fugitive. Anyway, guys, it's 8:15. Been on here for an hour and 15. I have got to go put my feet up. And what did I do here? Jesus Christ. Oh, I got a bunch of open pictures here. I got to go put my feet up, though. I got to get ready to go do some things on my off day tomorrow. I don't have to work tomorrow. So thank you guys for stopping by. Share all of the videos that you possibly can with everybody that you possibly can. Get as many of your friends to go ahead and subscribe here as you possibly can. I would greatly appreciate it. My family greatly appreciates it. We are able to sustain a living because of the support that you guys provide in the form of watching the content with the ads on it. That's the most important thing for us at the current point in time. You guys take it easy. I appreciate it. And more videos coming in the morning.